Welcome back to Gaby Answers Questions. This is going to be a look back edition. So I'm going to be looking back at fun moments from 2024 and answering questions about last year. All right, let's do it. First question is, how did I go to every continent in 2024? Honestly, I did not start off the year intending to do that. In January, I had a trip just for fun with one of my best friends. We went to Antarctica, which was an insane experience. We got to see penguins and whales and icebergs, and it's just something I'll never forget. And then through J Balvin, we did tours in Europe, Asia, and Australia. And then I also ended up going back to Asia in the fall on a personal trip to Tokyo with my boyfriend. The Antarctica trip included South America because we had to fly to Ushuaia and start the boat trip there. So that was South America. I live in North America, and then I ended the year going to Africa on a personal trip on an African safari, which Africa was my last continent. So that was actually insane. But I'm so glad I did it. It's gonna be like the best fun fact that I can say that I went to every single continent in 1 year. Who was my favorite artist that I photographed in 2024? This is so hard because I did get to shoot a lot of cool artists. I think number one, J Balvin, just because I did so many shows with him. Probably like around 30 to 40 shows, I think, between the Europe tour, Australia, New Zealand, and some festival shows that we did. I also have to give a runner up to Chapel Roan. She was my number one most anticipated to photograph, and I got to photograph her on my point and shoot at Coachella, and then her entire set at Hinterland Music Festival on the photo team, and then again, first 3 songs at ACL Festival. So I got my fill of Chapel Roan, and she absolutely delivered. It was mind-blowing, insane, top 10 concerts. How many shows did I go to in 2024? I did not keep track. Between festivals and shows, had to be at least 50. I really should do better about keeping track because I think it would be so fun to have the exact statistics. But I know I was working at least 30-ish shows, maybe more. And I went to 4 or 5 festivals too, maybe more than that. So yeah, I definitely saw a lot of music last year. It was awesome. What was my favorite personal trip of last year? Ooh, Tokyo was really cool. It had been on my travel bucket list for a long time. I got to eat so much delicious food and just see the city, which was cool. Also, we had a show in Indonesia, and then we spent the weekend after just going to Bali for fun, and that was really fun. Shout out to Priscilla. It was her birthday that weekend. We did yoga, we went to the beach, we explored tons of areas of Bali, and it was so amazing. What was my favorite music festival that I got to work for? Ooh, I really liked Hinterland last year. As I mentioned, Chapel was there. There was a lot of cool bands that played, and that's just a fun festival. It's a good vibe, kind of folksy, and that's really fun. I also got to shoot this cool festival called Country Fest on the photo team. That was a new festival for me, and it was really fun. I got to see a lot of classic country artists that I grew up listening to. Where did I see the Eras Tour? Well, I had tickets to see the Eras Tour in Vienna. That was the show that got canceled, so that was a bummer, but I ended up canceling my flight, and I ended up rebooking for London, and I was able to get a ticket from a friend to see the Eras Tour in London, which was really fun. And yeah, she did the whole Tortured Poets department section, so it all worked out. And oh, I'm also wearing my Down Bad t-shirt that I made for the Eras Tour. What was my favorite tour last year? I think either the Europe tour or the Australia tour. Europe was fun because I just got to become really good friends with all the crew, and it was for a long time. Australia was just 2 weeks, back to back to back to back, going crazy, but both were definitely super fun. Did I break any gear last year? Yeah, I ended up breaking, I had like a little light that I used on a hot shoe mount. It was just like a little portable light, some fill light. Like LED situation, that I ended up like breaking it, the hot shoe mount, off of the actual light itself. But it was kind of just a cheapie, so that wasn't too bad. And then during the Europe tour, I ended up dropping my 70 to 200. It didn't break, but just like a piece on the outer rim of the lens cracked a little bit. It's still cracked. I never got it fixed, but it doesn't affect the lens quality at all, but it did break. What was my biggest personal achievement in 2024? It's probably the book that's coming out this year. So last year I was approached by Harvard Business Review, and they said that they have a book about Taylor Swift coming out, and they wanted to use one of my images for the cover. So I licensed my image for that, and that was a long process. It took months to get everything sorted out, but the book is coming out this year, and it's probably one of my biggest achievements, and I'm so excited to hold the book in my hands. They are printing tons and tons of copies of it, so to see my photo on the book cover online and in bookstores and stuff is gonna be really cool. That whole process, it was definitely my biggest accomplishment of last year. All right, guys, that is Gaby Answers Questions 2024 Look Back Edition. Let me know if you have any other questions, and I'll include it in my next video.